Hi, everybody. My name is Drew Burgess. I'm an instructor here at CLI Studios. I'm with Acrobatic Arts, and today these are my assistants, Delaney and her sister Peyton. All right, so without much further ado, I'm going to send these two over to the mats, and we're going to start warming up. So I'd like you to face each other. Can you guys do 25 jumping jacks? Go ahead. So when they're doing jumping jacks, can you get a little closer in, Peyton? Yep, there you go. When they're doing these jumping jacks, you want to make sure that they're stretching through their feet all the way, that they're really utilizing that ballet technique to do beautiful sautés, but very parallel. You can face away from each other now, ladies. Face away. Go back to back, face away. There you go. So stretching through their feet and ankles all the way every single time. Springing up as high as they can. If they can, clap the hands at the top, then slap the thighs at the bottom. All right, nicely done. You guys can now face the camera. Let's go mountain climbers, okay? So in this position, they're gonna hit a nice strong plank, palms flat into the floor. They're gonna make sure that their neck is nice and lengthened out. Can you face the side for me, Delaney? There you go. And then with every single mountain climber, they're trying to hit a perfect passe, attached and connected, making sure that the heel is not sickling, okay? The knee should be in line with the belly button, the sternum, and the nose. Good girl, Peyton. Okay, 25. Go ahead, ladies. Go. Push, 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 push. So in this position, they're trying to block out of their shoulders as much as they possibly can, trying to lengthen through the back, and then making sure that the palms are nice and flat, and they're starting to engage spider fingers into the ground. Really fast, Delaney. Fast, fast, fast. There you go. Awesome. Cool. And of course, let's do some push-ups. I'll just take 5 today with the elbows in, okay? 5 nice strong push-ups, elbows in, squeezing the heels together, making sure the backs of the legs are nice and long. Okay, try to lengthen out of your neck as much as you can. All right, go ahead, nose to the floor, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. One more, go all the way down and all the way back up. Nice job. You guys can child's pose it out for a second. Excellent. So in that push-up position, we purposely, at Acrobatic Arts, we purposely want their elbows to track in by their sides as much as possible because of the progressions that lead up to it later. It's not wrong to do wide arm push-ups, not a problem, but we should also be training them in as much as possible too to help with eventually they'll do back handspring to chest roll, and all of those things that build up to that, they have to make sure that they're tracking in with their elbows as much as possible. All right, ladies, you can come face the camera, shake it out for a second. So I want to make sure that their shoulders are nice and warm, their wrists are nice and warm, and their hip flexors are nice and warm before we go into these bridges. So we're going to just circle through our wrists, circle in every direction you can possibly think of. They're going to shake out their wrists, they'll flap their hands, they'll twist their hands, and they're going to slowly put pressure on their hands in every direction that they can possibly think of. Good. You can turn them inside, turn them outside, just rocking into circles nice and gently. And then they're going to flip their hands all the way over and get the pinky fingers to come close together to stretch through that forearm a little bit more. Can you flip your hands the other way? There you go. Yep. So your pinky fingers are coming closer together. Awesome. Cool. And then shake it out. Disco wrists. So we go in every direction with their disco wrists just to make sure that everything's nice and limber and loosened up before they go into it even more. Every direction you can think of. Cool, and then we'll slowly roll out their head and their neck. We want to make sure that when they're focusing into these bridges, that their eyes are going to follow their fingertips as much as possible. So sometimes you have to really warm up that head and neck a lot. So that way they're not staying too tight there. So we'll now take your left hand to your right earlobe. Then we're going to slowly raise the shoulder up, and then the palm is going to go out. Raise the shoulder up, then the palm out. Shoulder up, palm out, shoulder up, lengthen out even more, and then stretch it out. Good job. So we'll switch to the other side. So with each time that they drop their shoulder, you're trying to get more space between the shoulder and the earlobe. So they're going to lift the shoulder up, create more space by pulling a tiny bit harder, and then reaching the palm out. Shoulder up, lengthen, extend the palm. Shoulder up, and lengthen. Awesome. Both hands behind your head and pulling downwards. Elbows in close to your body. Nice job, ladies. And we'll look up. Make a pouty face like someone took away your iPhone. And then we're going to put our hands underneath our chin with that pouty face and look all the way up. So by creating that pouty face position first, you're actually stretching this band of muscles underneath of the chin. That's really important for a chest stand, for chin stand, and of course for bridges as well. So look all the way up with that pouty face still. Even higher, Peyton. Shoulders down. Yeah, there you go. Good job. All right. Nicely done, ladies. Let's warm up our shoulders a little bit. So I'm just going to roll through a couple times first. You can sit up a little taller if you want. Just rolling through. Then we'll circle our left arm. Circle your left arm backwards. Yep, keep going. Then you'll circle the right arm a few times going backwards. Good. And then we'll go the other direction. So just flip it from the back to the front. And then the other direction as well. Good job. And now we're going to sync everything up. So we're going to start with both of their arms up and making sure their ribs are nice and closed. So they're actually going to take both one arm to the front, one arm to the back, nice and even. They're going to pass their hands down by their sides, reach to the other direction, then come all the way back up without twisting in their hips as much. Right? We want the actual abdominal wall to stay facing forward as much as possible. Their shoulders move, but their hips don't. And they're trying to pass their arms as close as possible. Go ahead. Right down and left up. Yep. Right down and left up. Right down and left up. You'll see how there's a small coordination, like they'll have a little bit of a deviation every now and then, just because it's weird to coordinate these arms, but it's important, especially when it comes to arm swings later. And then we'll do both of them at the same exact time now. So we'll go front to back, front to back, front to back, front to back, and then we'll go the opposite direction. We'll go back to front, back to front, back to front, back to front. Nicely done. Make your right arm in, and then take a rainbow up and over. You can sit down. Your booty can be on your heels. There you go. Press that left shoulder down now. So we're going to get that left shoulder dropped even more. So now raise it back up. Raise the left shoulder back up. And then drop it back down. And you should feel a different stretch. Most commonly, I see kids do this, or I see teachers do this, or with their dancers, and then they can get a deeper stretch by lowering that shoulder way more into that tricep. Okay? Let's go to the other side now. So make left arm come in, right arm rainbows up and over, and then pressing that shoulder all the way down. And then raise it back up and press it back down. All right, we're gonna face away from the cameras for a second, face the brick wall. And we're gonna take our arms all the way up and then go underneath to get our hands to connect. If you can get them to touch first and then to grasp, and then to fully grab or clasp all the way beyond. Then we're going to do that on both sides of their body, trying to keep their ribs really closed, and their focus can be more where the wall and ceiling meet. Try to get that arm all the way on top, Peyton. There you go. And then we'll switch it to the other side when you're ready. Pass through second, and all the way up. Nicely done. It's getting better. So in this position too, you want to make sure that they're avoiding the sickled feet. So squeeze your heels together. There we go. So their toenails should be up off the floor, and they're still engaging their feet. Close the ribs here. There you go. Try to get this elbow up higher. There you go. Nice job. All right. Shake it out for just a second. How about a little rock and roll action first? Can you guys face each other? Just do tucked rock and roll real quick. So with one hand on each shin. And then go back to the toenails. Go all the way up to the shoulders. Head in nice and tight. Elbows are engaged into the body as well. Nice. And then let's add a candlestick to that real quick. All the arms all the way up. You stand all the way up in them. Yep, stand all the way back up. You can do it with a saute today. Big saute. Yeah. Arms all the way up. There you go. Stay tight. Keep your arms by your ears, please. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Good job. Faster, Peyton. Faster. There you go. There you go. So we want some power on these with that candlestick position. Last one. All right. Good job. So I'm looking for let's do tabletop real quick. So just a tabletop position. I'm going to have one of them face the camera and one of them face away. I'll have you face away. Yeah, there you go. Could you face the back for me? There you go. So we're going to push their hips all the way up. Fingertips are facing the heels, Delaney. There we go. So hips really, really high, nice and lifted. Just trying to squeeze the knees together as much as they possibly can and trying to make sure the glutes are engaged and not sinking to the floor. The most common mistake I see with this is that their pelvis can always come up higher, and they don't want to do that. So you have to push past that range of motion with their hips and really get their hips up nice and strong. More. Okay. Passe right leg, toe to ceiling. Passe right leg, put it back down. Hips higher. Passe left leg, toe to ceiling. Passe left leg, put it back down. Shake it out for just a second. You can come down. You can both face the camera again. To make sure that we're gaining enough mobility in those hips, let's stretch out those hip flexors just a little bit more, okay? So we're gonna do fire logs first. So I'm gonna have them cross their right foot all the way over their left knee, and they're gonna make sure that their shins are staying parallel to the edge of the mat or the mirror. They're gonna slowly put some pressure onto that right leg. Can you extend your bottom leg more, please? Thank you. Flexed feet would help on this one. There you go. And they're going to slowly put some pressure onto that knee and then slowly walk their hands out even more. You'll see that one side of this tends to be much easier for the dancers than the other side. Make sure that you're working both sides of their body with everything. Okay, and then we're going to slowly walk it to the center. Then we'll also walk to the other direction as well. All right, sit up nice and tall. Let's slowly shake it out to the other direction. So we're going to cross that left leg all the way over, making sure both shins are staying parallel to the edge of the mat and not tucking in. You'll notice that most dancers set this up with the bottom leg way too close to them. It actually has to be extended out pretty far away from them. So we'll put both hands onto their left knee, apply gentle pressure at first. Try to flex those feet if you can. There you go. Sit up nice and tall. And then they're slowly going to put their forehead to their hands. Then they'll eventually reach all the way out. Good. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Flex that foot really hard. There you go. Then slowly walk it to the center and then to the other side. So in this fire log stretch, keep going. In this fire log stretch, they're actually getting the underside of their hip flexors to open up as well, not just the top only. All right. You can shake it out for just a second. Nice job, sisters. We're now going to do our square split stretch that we work on a lot, and I'm actually having them face two different ways. This time I have you face upstage, and you can stay facing downstage. So this is a stretch from Alexa Flexibility, but we also use it in our programming as well. So your right hand is going to go to their left ankle, and then their left hand is going to go to their right foot, and they're going to sit backwards and lay flat on their backs with their shoulders nice and twisted and squared. So take your hand to your foot. There you go. Stretch it all the way out. Back to the knee, nice and engaged. And then you want the bottom knee to be at a 90-degree angle. So she's really going to try to get those shoulders into the ground, straighten through the back of your leg even more. Grab really hard, Peyton. There you go. And then both shoulders pressing into the ground as much as possible. And again, you'll notice with this, one side will be easier than the other, for sure. And then you can switch it and change it and rearrange it. Can you go facing upstage and you go facing downstage now? There you go. So they're taking with this side, right hand to the left foot, left hand to the right ankle. There you go. Good. Grab the toes here. Straighten this leg as much as you possibly can. And then both of the shoulder blades are pressing into the floor as much as possible, trying to create a 90-degree angle at that bottom leg, so it's a perpendicular line. Good. Even longer back there. You got it. You got it. Try to grab more at your ankle. I know. So oftentimes in square splits, it has to do with making sure that the hip flexors and their actual hamstrings and everything else, their quads, are actually all working together, and they're actually trying to make sure that everything's staying coordinated. Oftentimes they're going to be, one side will be easier than the other, but you're trying to make sure both sides get more evened out. All right, you can shake it out for a second, ladies. Let's move on. I'm going to start doing flashlights. Can we show flashlights to the camera real quick? So come in just a tiny bit closer. Okay, so they're going to make big jazz hands with flexed wrists as hard as they possibly can. Then they're going to close those fists super tight, but they're going to do it really, really fast, over and over and over and over and over again. Flex your wrists harder. Yeah. So it's a really, really awesome jazz hand, and they make a tight fist. And this is going to start strengthening their forearms. Okay, and then they'll go up over their head. Then they'll go out to the side. And flip the hands underneath, so your heels are now, the heels of the hand is up. Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and then underneath to the front as well. You can put it right more in front of you. There you go. Nice job. Bigger, close the fists more, close the fists more. There you go. And you'll feel it in their forearms. Their forearms should start to burn, and that's when you know that you've done a good job. Okay, so real quick, let's show a baby bridge. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's show a baby bridge. Can I have one of you face that wall and one of you face that wall? Okay, so get a tiny bit closer together. There you go. So the feet are going to be together. The palms are going to be flat onto the floor. They're going to try to squeeze their knees together as hard as they possibly can. Push the pelvis and hips high to the sky. Go ahead. And they're trying to breathe while they do this. So if you were to try to come around and open their knees in class, they shouldn't allow you to do that. Their knees should be squeezed together with their own muscles and the use of their inner thighs. Palms flat, really hard. There you go. And then I'm going to have them raise their arms high into the sky because this applies to partnering later. Then have them do flashlights here as well. More flashlights, all the flashlights. Flex your wrists harder, Delaney. There you go. So eventually, this is what they need to be working on as far as partnering skills go too. They need to be able to be a strong base and eventually lift those hips up off the ground for future partnering stuff. Hips even higher, Peyton. Good job. Good job. And you can put your arms back down, but leave your hips up. So when they're really young, oftentimes I will put a yoga block underneath of them just to show them how high or how low they actually are. So you're trying to make sure that they're not letting their bum touch the block at all. Their bum should be far away from it. So I'm trying to get as much space as possible underneath of them. And we're breathing and we're breathing. You may come down. So in acrobatic arts, we have about 5 bridges that we really try to focus on, your 5 basic bridges, or basic to advanced, if you will. And the first one is baby bridge. A proper progression for all this is baby bridge. So making sure that we've got that nice and solid. Their hips should be nice and lifted when they do this, okay? So try to do baby bridge one more time, and now we're going to start to do a little variation of it. So hips up, okay? Extend your right foot away from your body. Nice. Draw tiny circles with your leg and ankle. Good job. Now go the opposite direction, inside. So this is actually working, hips higher, Delaney. This is actually working for their hip flexors as well. Strengthening those hip flexors is always really important. Stretch through your feet really hard. Not just up and down, but in small circles. There you go. All right, and we'll switch it to the other foot now. Hips up nice and high, switching to the other foot. There you go. Small circles, en dehors and en dedans. Inside and outside, trying to keep the hips nice and neutral. Put pressure into the hands on both sides of your body to maintain that. Good job, you guys. All right, put your foot back down. Keep your hips nice and high. Lift your right leg all the way up to the ceiling. Now your toe is going to go out to the side. Toe down in front to dégagé position, and then bring it back into passé. Toe to ceiling, to the side, and down, and back in. Toe to ceiling, to the side, straight down, and back in. One more. Toe to ceiling, rond de jambe to à la seconde, straight down to dégagé, bring it back in, switch the feet. Hips up really high. Toe to ceiling, rond de jambe, don't let the knee open, dégagé position, passé. One more. Toe to ceiling, reach it out, dégagé, long position. There you go. Passé. One more. Up and out and forward and in and down. Relax for just a second. You can rock and roll as needed. So that's just a little bit of a variation that I do with my kids in class in order to help make them just start to feel where their weight can shift. You'll notice as we progress into these next bridges, there's going to be smaller deviations from perfection that we don't always want to happen, but it's going to be common. It's going to happen. So we're trying to avoid that, and you'll notice that whenever they go from 1 foot in their bridge to 2 feet, their weight transitions a lot, and they need to keep it as neutral as possible in their hips. So whenever you transition onto one leg, no one should really be able to tell. All right. Nice job. Let's move on. Okay, so after we have our baby bridge, we usually go to a centered bridge in acrobatic arts. And we're going to talk about how to actually build up to this centered bridge as well. So in order to set up a nice centered bridge, you have to set it up from success right from the beginning. So I want their feet really close to their bucket, flat on the floor. They can be hip width apart for right now, and then their hands are going to go directly underneath of their shoulder blades. So you're going to put their palms flat into the floor, and you want to make sure their elbows are tracking in by their body as much as possible. Can you face for me this way? Like, yeah, there you go. Just so I can show them with your arms. Yep. So a lot of times you'll see their hands set up too wide. They set their arms up way too wide, and then their elbows are actually going outside of their body line. You want to make sure their elbows are tracking in and their hands are pretty close to their ears. Fingertips are almost touching their shoulder blades. Okay? They're going to push their belly high in the sky. Go ahead. Push up all the way into a bridge, and you have a centered bridge. The weight is centered between the hands and the feet. Okay? Delaney, can you face Peyton now? Other way. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. So their weight is centered right now. You can, there we go. And they're really trying to get parallel feet with the hips nice and lifted. Okay? And you can lay back down just for a second. Try to keep your heels planted whenever you can. Okay? Rock and roll just for a minute. So I've had a couple questions in the past as to how to even get your kids up into that first centered bridge, because baby bridge to centered bridge is actually a big jump. So I do a lot of I do a lot of tricep dips with my dancers. Can you guys go into a tabletop for me? Will you do a tabletop? You could face wherever you were. Yeah, there you go. Tabletop. There we go. So their fingertips are facing their heels as much as possible. Then they're going to slowly bend their elbows and push back up, trying to resist the seat going lower. So you want to actually lift this while you go down. Yep. Even more. Thank you. Bend through the elbows and push up even more. Bend through the elbows, push up even more. You can go even lower with those elbows. Come on, dip all the way down. Yeah, there you go. Cool. And then their chin should be off of their chest. There you go. Keep breathing. Good. Hips nice and high. You do legs together. Thank you. Hips higher. Good job. 2 more. All the way down. All the way back up. All the way down. All the way back up. Okay. Lay back down. So a lot of tricep dips will help with strengthening their arms to actually be able to push all the way up into a bridge. So now I'm going to have them lay flat. And we're going to do bridge push-ups. So they're going to go from the back of their neck all the way back up into a centered bridge, back to the back of their neck, all the way up into a centered bridge. I do these a lot with them. This isn't about holding a bridge for a long period of time, but it is about holding your weight on the floor, okay? So you don't want to sink or settle your body into the ground as you push up into the next one. So I'm going to just have Delaney do this real quick. So she's going to push all the way up into a bridge. She's going to let the back of her head touch the ground as she bends her elbows down and then pushes right back up into a bridge, looking at the floor. Yep, one more. So back of the elbows, or back of the head, there you go, and pushing back up. Back of the head, one more. There you go, and then all the way back up. Good job, you can lay all the way flat. Nice job. Thank you, Delaney. So this one, we're going to tabletop walk going forwards. Their hips are going to go nice and high. Go ahead and walk all the way down the floor. Hips even higher, even higher. Fingertips facing your heels even more. There you go. And go ahead. Can you walk backwards with a tabletop walk? So hips up nice and high. Good job. And then Peyton, you can come back and get in line right here. Hips up nice and high, Delaney. Even higher, even higher, even higher. You can open those fingers into the floor. There you go. Hips up, hips up, hips up, hips up. Okay, and then come on back down. Then we're going to start to go to inside out bridge progression. So we'll start it with an inside out tabletop and then eventually move it to a bridge. So here's her tabletop position. She's going to take her right arm up off the floor and she's going to put it down on the ground into a puppy dog position. And then she'll go all the way back up and over. Take those arms all the way up each time. There you go. Yep. Hips up even higher with each tabletop. There you have it. And then I'm going to have Delaney do the same thing, but facing the back. So start facing the back so that way they can see. Yep. Keep going. Nice, Peyton. Keep going, honey. Good job. Hips even higher. Hips up nice and strong. So in that puppy dog position, it's sort of like a downward dog, but both knees are actually going to be bent. And lift all the way up. Good. Fingertips facing your heels each time, please. Lift up. Fingertips have to face your heels. There you go. Hips up even higher, Delaney. I know. Come on back over here. So once they have that nice, strong centered bridge, they can start to bridge walk that across the floor as well. So before we actually walk it, I'm actually going to put them in the center. Can one of you face downstage and one of you face upstage? So I'm going to have Peyton, you face downstage. You're actually going to start this way, but you're going to look at the camera in your bridge. There we go. Awesome. So they're going to lay flat on their backs. They're going to push up into a bridge, nice centered bridge, and they're going to wave with their right hand. Hi. Can you wave with the straight arm? Yep. And then they're going to wave with their left hand. Make sure your feet are nice and parallel, Delaney. There you go. And then they're going to march their feet. March your feet. March your feet. Okay. And then pause the feet. March the hands. March the hands. Walking the hands up and down. Yep. Nicely done. And then we're going to march the hands and the feet at the same time. Awesome. Point your feet, please. Point your feet when it comes off the ground. Thank you. Cool. And then this applies to going across the floor. So we're going to lay down, and we're going to line up, and we're going to go across the floor with bridge walking. Now, bridge walking, they should still be, it's just like a jazz walk to me. In jazz class, we walk down the floor, and we always do jazz walks. And so in acro class, I'm always having my kids do handstand walks and lots of bridge walks too, okay? So they should still be working through their feet and their legs, passing through that nice dégagé position, and making sure that they're stretching through the ankles and toes with each walk. Same thing with rolling through their fingertips. It should be nice and quiet, okay? So you can lay down, push up into a bridge. Pushing all the way up, and then walking through. Go ahead, walk and stretch through the legs and feet. So I'm going to have Delaney now do a bridge walk, but moving the opposite direction. So instead of moving backwards, she's going to move forwards with her bridge walk. So lay down, lay down this way. There you go. Push all the way. Don't twist into it, please. Lay flat. Thank you. Push all the way up into your bridge, and then walk forwards towards me. Yep. She's going to stretch out and walk forwards. Good job, Peyton. You can come back in line. Good job, Delaney. So even more control with those legs. Good. And she can also walk, pause, face the camera. Good. And she can also walk sideways, sideways. You don't have to stretch through your legs and feet as much on this. Just try to shuffle more sideways. There you go. There we go. Nice job. And lay down evenly. Nice job. Thank you. Come on back. So those are some awesome skills to have them do across the floor as well. So we've hit that centered bridge. You can come back on out, ladies. So now we're going to talk about a bridge going with their shoulders in line with their wrists. So we have baby bridge, then we have a centered bridge. Now their shoulders are going to get on top of their wrists. So I'm going to have you actually, guys, you're going to face away from each other. So go ahead and sit down. Yep. Get a little bit closer together for me. Awesome. So lay flat on your backs. Set up that awesome bridge. You want their feet really close to their bucket again. Hands flat to the floor. Okay, they're going to push their hips all the way into the sky and then try to push their shoulders to each other. Push your shoulders to each other. Good. So the armpits are actually going to get stacked on top of the wrists as much as possible. Breathing. Can you give each other a high five? Lift your walk closer. Yeah, walk a little closer, a little closer. There you go. Give each other a high five. So right hand, then left hand, then right hand, then left hand, then right hand, then left hand, then right hand, then left hand. Then put it back down. So we want to try to make sure that they're getting those armpits stacked on top of their shoulders, or the armpits stacked on top of their wrists as much as possible. So oftentimes to set this up in class, I do these at the wall with the dancers. So I'm actually going to be Peyton's wall for a second. So push up into a bridge and pretend like I'm the wall. She's going to try to push her armpits. Keep your head back. She's going to push her armpits as close to the wall as she possibly can. Leave your head back, please. Keep your arms super stretched. She's going to try to get her armpits to touch the wall. I tell the older dancers, put your secret on the wall, or like leave deodorant stains on my wall. And we want to make sure they're opening up through those shoulders as much as they possibly can to get that bridge nice and in line. Go ahead and lay back down. Delaney will now do the same thing. She's going to push all the way up into that nice strong bridge, and then try to get her armpits stacked right on top of her wrists. She's starting to go even a little bit past. There you go. So you want your shoulders stacked directly on top of that wrist line. And you'll see that wall will make a huge difference with your dancers, okay? You can lay it on down. So we had baby bridge, we had a centered bridge, we had a bridge with the shoulders in line, and now we're going to do a bridge with the shoulders past the wrist. So they're trying to work through it even more, pushing even further. You'll notice with this one, they were going to try to keep their legs a little bit more stretched and a little bit more elongated. So we're not trying to relax the knees on this, we're trying to push the knees straight. So oftentimes when they push up into this, you'll see them hit the bridge, then they'll walk their feet outwards and then try to push into their shoulders. We don't actually want that. We want them to push up into their bridge, leaving their feet where they are, then pushing into their shoulders to arc the bridge more. Not necessarily walking the feet out, but the feet can come together. They can't go outwards away from the body. I hope that makes sense, yeah? Hands down, okay? You're not gonna move your feet outwards. You can move them together. Cool, go ahead. Push up into your bridge and try to straighten through your arms and your legs. There we go. And then we can have the legs a tiny bit closer together. You can move them in. There we go. So they're trying to get the shoulders past the wrists as much as they possibly can. Relax the head and neck and breathe really deep. Long legs, try to walk your feet together if you can. Good. Strong arms. Good. And laying down. Nice job. Yay! Let's stand on up. Let's go into a kneeling bridge for a second. So I want to see some kneeling bridges. You're going to face away from each other for this one. Yep. So come a little bit closer together. There we go. The hands are going to be right in front of them. Now, to actually make this a little bit harder for them, I'm going to give them yoga blocks today. They do this in class. These are a tiny bit heavier than what they're used to, but I think that this will be fine. It'll be more than acceptable. So I usually have them squeeze a yoga block in between their feet, making sure their toenails are high up off the floor. They start with their arms in front of their body. They reach the yoga block all the way up to the sky. Then they stretch the yoga block further up by letting their armpit skin scream, and then they go halfway back to reach and look at each other. And then they come all the way back up and then close off the ribs, making sure that their eyes follow their hands the entire time. And then finish with your arms in front and closed ribs. Do 2 at halfway. Go ahead, reach it all the way up and go halfway back. And then reach all the way back up and forward. One more, all the way up. Long armpits. There you go. Halfway back. And all the way back up and forward. Now I want to show a hinging exercise real quick that I do with my younger kids as well. So they're going to put their arms in front of them. They're still squeezing the yoga block in between their heels and feet. And they're just going to hinge backwards without letting their body sink anywhere. They're going to stay nice and strong, hinging backwards and then going back forwards. Hinging backwards, then going back forward. One more, hinging backwards. Yes, and coming back forward. Last one, do one more, sorry. Hinge and recover. So I want my dancers to always know the difference between a hinge and actually arching, okay? So that's why I let them do that on both sides. Then we do the exact same thing, but with one hand. So we're gonna reach the arms in front first. We'll take both arms all the way up, and then we're gonna reach one arm into second as they put the other hand down to the floor, and then come back up with both arms by their ears, and then back to the front, okay? Then we'll do it with the other side. So reaching both arms up, one hand goes to the floor, other hand goes into second. They reach all the way, try to stay really square, and then coming back up. Yes, both sides of that always. Then we do all of those same progressions, except on one leg instead. So they're gonna put one leg in front of them. Have them do their, yeah, you can step forward with your right leg, Peyton. Ooh, you're gonna go on top of the yoga block. I was just gonna do flat at first. There you go. So foot nice and flat first. They should feel a nice deep stretch in their hip flexor. And if you want them to, can I have one of you face the camera real quick? Delaney, will you face the camera? So to get a deeper stretch in Delaney's psoas muscle, she's actually gonna take she can keep her right hand flat and then reach her left arm all the way up and over to arc out in this position. So she should feel a stretch in that nice long psoas muscle. Okay? And then back foot, toenails always really engaged. All right, shake it out. Do the other side, just in that same stretch for me, just for a second. Peyton, switch your legs. Can you face upstage, Peyton? Face back here. Thank you. Hips nice and square. Take that hand to the floor. Reach all the way up and over. Nice and long lateral stretch. Toenails up, back foot. Thank you. All right, and shake it out. We're gonna do the same kneeling bridge progressions, but with their now with their 1 foot in front, and they're gonna actually arch all the way up and back. Okay, let's stay in that same angle. So will you face downstage to do this, and will you face upstage? Okay, so put your right leg in front. Hips are pressing low into this the whole entire time. You're gonna see the most common mistake that your dancers will make with this is they're gonna shift their knee backwards, or they'll shift their weight into their back leg. It's much easier to accomplish, and you're gonna get 2 birds, 1 stone, the hip flexors and the spine, if they keep the weight pressed forward into the front leg. Okay, so you don't want them to rock their weight backwards. Go ahead, arms in front. We're going to reach up. Try to just go halfway for one of them. Go halfway. And then recover. And now let's try to go all the way. Try to go all the way back. Reaching all the way up. Going all the way back. Try it again. I'll help you. Reaching all the way up. Try to go all the way back. There you go. Now let's try to do the same thing but facing away from each other, just on the other side. Good. Reaching both arms in front. Back foot engaged, please. Thank you. Reaching all the way up. Try to go one halfway. Nice. Eyes on fingertips the entire time. And now try to go all the way. So the goal is to get the pinky fingers, go ahead, pinky fingers on the outside of the leg, and then recovering. As slow as they possibly can. Okay? Then they do the same exact thing also with one arm. This would be the same arm as front leg, opposite as back. Okay? So we're going to put both arms in front. So whatever leg is in the front of her, she's going to use that arm to reach to the floor. So both arms come up first. One arm is going to go out as one hand goes back. And then we come all the way back up to recover. Okay, try that same thing again. Both arms up. One arm goes out, one arm goes back. Slowly. And then up and recover. Then they'll do that. Can you guys face each other now? Other side. With the one arm. Good. Here. Pressing those hips. You'll see that they're going to start to unsquare themselves, get more squared. Yeah, there you go. Now, they can also do this exact same stretch, and they can do these exact same bridge progressions with one foot on top of the yoga block. For today, I'd actually like to see them just stay flat for it, but eventually we do the kneeling bridges on one leg, or one leg kneeling bridges with their foot on top of a yoga block. Go ahead. So reach forward, close your ribs to start. Thank you. Reach all the way up. Go halfway with same arm as front leg. Yep. And then reach all the way up. And then back forward. Good. One more. Reach all the way up. Same arm as front leg. Yeah. Go halfway back. Nice. And recover. Awesome. So you'll notice I still haven't even had them stand from their feet to go into a bridge yet, because I want to make sure all of this stuff is nice and solid and super strong before I even let them go from their feet to their hands. Okay? So with that being said, though, let's start to do that. Let's start to go from our feet to our hands in a bridge. Okay? So ladies, can you face away from each other? And the first time that I introduce this, I usually have the mats like stacked up to a bit of a height, so that way they're not going quite as low. And I try to make sure that I've seen all those nice strong bridge progressions on the knees first, and I feel confident in their ability to not fall out of it. Okay, so they're going to reach their arms forward in front of you. They're going to reach slowly up first, stretching through their armpit skin, lifting up as they cambre up and over and back. Go ahead. And they go all the way to the floor. Good. You'll notice that the heels will want to come up. So I'm going to ask them to do it wrong. Lay down. I'm going to ask them to do like major deviations. I want your heels to pop up. I want your arms to go out. I want you to do it the wrong way, and then I want you to do it the right way. Okay, so stand back up. Stand back up. So can one of you face, let's see, one of you face, yeah, that's fine, face that way. Can you face the camera for this? Awesome. So they're going to put their arms in front, and then let whatever happen. You're going to let your arms probably go out to the side, and you're going to let your heels pop. Deal? Okay. So go ahead. Look, these are the common mistakes that you see when they go into a bridge, like that and like that, the heels coming up. Good job. You can lay down. Good job on being bad. Now, let's make it better. Let's fix it, okay? So I'm going to have you both stand up. Peyton, you can just pause for a second. I'm going to make Delaney do this one real quick. So I'm going to have her face the side. She's going to reach forward. She's going to reach all the way up. Nice long armpits. I'm going to make sure that she's going to stay tracking inside with her the inner foot, right? She's going to make sure that she's trying to squeeze something together, like a yoga block. So she can squeeze this together. If you want to make it two of them, you can, or if you want to make it wider, you can also do it this way, right? So that tactile feedback is going to be really important to making sure your dancers stay very parallel. Go ahead. Rock into the shoulders, and then let's recover. Nicely done. Cool. Good job. Do you want to give it a whirl? All right, switch it, change it, rearrange it. Come on over here, Peyton. So she's squeezing that yoga block in with her feet really, really hard. Really hard. There we go. Reaching all the way up. Thank you. Rock into those shoulders. And then recover all the way back up. Nicely done. Not too bad. So they can also do that with yoga blocks in between their arms too. So don't think that it's just like the yoga block is only at one part of their body. You can use yoga blocks in many different ways. All right. With that being said, I want to keep moving on. So let's go to our 16 count bridge and recover. You can start facing each other. Their arms are going to start in front. They're going to lift up for 5, 6, 7, 8. Their hands are going to touch the floor on count 7. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hands touch the ground on 7. Rock into their shoulders on 8. Then they're going to recover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 to the top. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 to finally finish with their arms lowering. Okay? Let's try it. Do you guys feel ready? Here we go. Arms are in front. Close your ribs to start, please. Good. Make sure that your shoulders are over the top of your hips. There you go. Waves on the balls of the feet, keeping the heels planted into the floor. Here we go. Here's 5, 6, 7, 8. Lifting up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hands 7. Shoulders 8. Rock up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 8. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Still a work in progress. Try it again. Try it again. Face away from each other now. Okay? Same exact thing. Closed ribs to start, please. Parallel feet. Here's 5, 6, 7, 8. Lifting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hands 7. Shoulders 8. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stretching 7, 8. Lowering 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to talk about a candy cane position that they have to pass through. Will you do this for me? So Delaney's going to demonstrate passing through that nice strong candy cane position or upside down J. So she's reaching up, trying to, So this position, if you will, is vital for them to make sure that they're actually hitting that proper curve into the actual bridge itself, okay? Can we see bridge to elbows? So start from your feet. You're going to go all the way up. Hands are going to pass from where they usually would touch the floor, and your elbows are going to go where your hands were, okay? You're just going to push all the way into that bridge into elbows. No counts with this, okay? You can keep your heels flat, though. Lift all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Oh, close. You're close. Try to straighten through your legs now, Delaney. There you go. Try not to walk them out. And tuck the head. Lay back down. Good job. Come back up. And do one more with you. So instead of letting the hands touch the floor and then one elbow, then the other, you're going to try to sweep past that and go right to it. Okay, go right to those elbows. So she's going to reach all the way up. Nice and long. Stretch, stretch, stretch. More. Even more. Higher. Yeah, there we go. Higher. Then these elbows are actually going to push past. There we go. So the elbows go where the hands were going to go. Try to get these knees tracking more parallel. There we are. There we are. Cool. Nice job. And you can lay down. Awesome. Stand all the way back up. So after we do this for a while, we work onto those nice strong bridge progressions. I'm actually going to ask them to do bridge prances and then bridge prances with straight legs also. So they have retiré prances and they also have battement prances as well. Okay? You can rock and roll for a second if you need to, ladies. Then we're going to push up and do those bridge progressions with prances. You rock and roll even bigger, even bigger, even bigger. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So Peyton, I'm going to have you face this wall. Delaney, can you face this wall for me? There we go. Can you get a little bit closer together? Awesome. Lay down into your bridge. Set up that awesome bridge for success, making sure that you're really tracking those legs parallel. Push the hips all the way into the sky. Go ahead, straighten the arms. Retiré passe the right leg. Now they're going to switch, kind of like a pas de chat, but parallel in the air, right? Go ahead, switching, and switching, and switching, and switching. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So don't jump side to side, Delaney. Jump right in place. There you go. There we are. Cool, and lay it back down. Lay it back down. Awesome. Shake it out for just a second. And we're going to do the exact same thing now, but with straight legs. I'm going to let them face away from each other. Yeah, so face that wall and face that wall. Awesome. Come in a tiny bit closer together. can I actually have you do your bridge prances in passe real quick, then I'll have you do the ones with legs straight. So when it comes to hitting bridge prances, will you do it bad for me real quick? So oftentimes, yeah, let your head relax, thanks. But oftentimes you're gonna see that their bridge is actually staying with their weight in their legs. So keep switching, but go slow. Yeah, so they won't get a lot of hype from it because they're not keeping their weight past their wrists and shoulders. So you wanna make sure their shoulders are getting way past. Relax your head and neck, now do it the right way. So she's switching into the air. Do we see the difference where it should be very light sounding? It shouldn't be heavy. It shouldn't be like a marching sound anymore. It should be nice and bright through the feet. So now Delaney is gonna do it with straight legs. Same exact concept, but just making sure that they're tracking through their midline. Oftentimes you'll see their legs start to fly out away from their body past their shoulder line. They actually need to work through their midline even more. Making sure that basically their kneecap is in line with their belly button, their sternum, and eventually their nose, even though they're all upside down. Okay, go ahead. Push up into that bridge, nice and strong. Good. Now, développé the leg first. So go, okay, or développé, that would mean passe, and then toe to ceiling, right? Now she's gonna switch the legs. Switch them, keep switching, go, switch, higher, yeah, even higher, long knees. There we go. Lay down. With super, super long legs, it should be still with that weight into those shoulders and wrists as much as possible. It should be nice and light. Good job. You guys may stand up. So as far as bridges go, it's really important to make sure that all of these are practiced throughout every single acro class. You don't have to do every single one of these, but you should at least make a conscious effort to make sure that you're getting those bridges done in class in some way or another, okay? I'd like to see you guys do a front limber, a front Arabian, and a front walkover across the floor just to show the teachers how it translates to what they would be doing across the floor. So all of these bridges eventually end up, they pass through that in some way or another throughout their limbering and their tumbling. So can you show me a front limber? It's where you go handstand, land in a bridge and stand up. Handstand, land in a bridge and stand up. Try not to move your feet, make it really light. Try it again. Tendu, reach forward. Good, and reach all the way up and recover. Try not to wobble your feet. One more, you can do it. Okay, so you do a front Arabian. You tuck up, pike up, or straddle up. It's your choice. Light landing, Miss Peyton. Yeah, you can walk over out of it. That's fine. Good. Can you try it from Arabian, though? Can you just go put both hands down, tuck both knees in, then you can split and walk over out of it. There. So you can see that especially where that one leg kneeling bridge is going to be really important for them to come up and out of that. Nice job. All right. Come back center, both of you. So now we're going to talk about, just for a little bit longer, about the actual bridge where we can start to make it more contortion. So we're going to go back to their knees to first introduce this. Go to your knees. Can you face each other? So I'm going to have them reach all the way up. You want to make sure that they're keeping their hips stacked on top of their knees as much as possible. They're going to let their elbows go to the floor after they've gotten their hands down. Then they're going to sit like they're sitting in a chair. Then they're going to recover hips first, then their hands, then their arms, then all the way up. Okay? So sit up for me nice and tall, Delaney. So here's her contortion kneeling bridge. She's going to reach all the way up. She's going to reach all the way back. Her hands are going to get as close to her feet as possible. Then she's going to go to her elbows. Then she's going to sit into a chair. Sit in the chair. There you go. Then recover. Hips first, head and hands last. Nice job. That eventually can be done from standing as well. So now we're going to stand up. She's going to go all the way back to her hands, reaching all the way up. Okay. One elbow down, then the other. Then she's going to sit in a chair, knees together. There you go. Sit down, pike those hips even more. There you go. Then recover, hands, and then all the way back up. Nicely done. Good job, ladies. Thank you very much. Stand up. Walk to the camera for us. Give them a good wave bye. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in to CLI Studios today. Again, I'm Drew. I'm with Acrobatic Arts. These are my assistants, Delaney and her sister Peyton, age 13 and age 10. Really lucky to have them with us today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a good one. Take care.